Standard wisdom suggests that a crisp podcast is simply the result of a high-end microphone and a fast computer. In reality, raw, unedited sound waves are incredibly messy and chaotic. Left to their own devices, a professional host sounds as clear as someone talking into a raw root vegetable. Perfect articulation only occurs because of a highly organized, microscopic labor force operating invisibly within the studio walls. High-fidelity audio requires constant active wrangling to prevent the natural chaos of sound from overwhelming the recording. Right now, at Sunrise Studio, the unseen ecosystem is mobilizing for its most critical, high-profile interview of the year. Every station is staffed and humming with energy, except for one glaring vacancy at the containment desk. The Echo Goblin, a specialized agent of acoustic disorder, has slipped his shackles and escaped into the studio rafters. Because this environment relies on absolute precision, a single rogue variable, like the Goblin, leaves the entire recording vulnerable to total collapse. To push acoustic sensitivity to its limit, the microphone fairies use tiny feather dusters to polish the sensors until they can hear a heartbeat from across the room. This extreme sensitivity carries a price. A single fairy sneeze can cause the equipment to capture a hamster yawning in the basement. To help prevent the host from stalling, word catcher sprites zip through the air with satchels of replacement words to bridge any linguistic gaps. When the sprites deliver the wrong noun, the host's logic breaks down, leading them to say things like, "I am completely pineapple." Keeping the talent at the necessary energy threshold falls to the coffee bean brownies, who manage the studio's chemical stimulation. However, the brownies often overconsume their own supply, resulting in tiny workers vibrating so fast they can no longer operate their equipment. These specialized mechanisms create the perfect recording environment, but they also introduce layers of fragility that the Goblin can easily exploit. The laugh track pixies manage the ambient mood, harvesting authentic laughter from the air rather than relying on synthetic reactions. If the pixies lose control of their own emotions during a serious interview segment, their laughter can bleed into the track and ruin the tone. This delicate, careful balance is completely shattered the very moment the rogue Echo Goblin reaches the primary recording chamber. He immediately begins bouncing the host's sentences off the walls, forcing every word to repeat and overlap in an endless loop. These reflections multiply until they choke out the structural clarity of the conversation, replacing communication with a dense wall of noise. Noise-nibbling gnomes rush in to physically consume the mechanical frequencies created by squeaky chairs and air conditioners. They are often too thorough, occasionally devouring the producer's lunch in their haste to clear the room of distractions. To restore the psychological pace, pause pixies carefully arrange moments of absolute silence between the host's sentences. The Goblin retaliates by stretching those silences, turning a brief beat of reflection into a moment of agonizing social awkwardness. Finally, the editing elves use golden scissors to surgically excise coughs, stammers, and biological flaws from the audio timeline. This continuous surgical extraction delivers a seamless final product that bears no resemblance to the acoustic chaos it replaced. Despite these interventions, the technical crew is losing ground. The editing elves' scissors can't keep pace with the Goblin's accelerating disruptions. They need the help of the ecosystem's silent final layer, the listening spirits. These spirits don't use tools, they simply float and watch. As the conversation grows more compelling and the host leans in, the spirits begin to glow with increasing intensity. The Echo Goblin, mesmerized by the sudden brilliance of a grounded narrative, drops his noise loops and freezes in place to hear what happens next. Technical precision manages the mechanics of sound, but the gravitational pull of a genuine conversation provides the ultimate stabilizing force for the studio. By sunset, the interview is successfully captured, and the magical task forces begin to stand down. The Echo Goblin quietly drifts out of the studio, searching for a new location where the conversation is less interesting. He is likely moving toward your immediate location as we speak. From now on, attribute every moment of perfect timing and crystal clarity to the invisible, magical laborers listening just behind the microphone.